Hey loves, I'm testing out this live design proofing session. So hopefully we'll be able to offer this service in the future. So y'all let me know how you like it, how it goes. This is for those of you who need help designing, whether it be my clients that actually need a t-shirt designed on the spot, or it might be even one of your clients. We can set it up as a private session so that they don't know it's me designing it. I'm going to offer that feature too. We'll call that basically a white label, which is where I don't advertise that it's me doing it. I just basically design it, let the customers come in, chime in, and chat, and it's like a real-time design session for your clients. So let's see, I can't open up my Facebook right now, but I'm going to go ahead and go to my email, get started with our first client, and I probably need a little practice because I'm so used to teaching y'all that this process is really supposed to be more or less me just showing the customer what we can do. So this one is for G. G, let me know if you're here. And if not, G is pretty good with me just designing whatever I design and pushing it forward for him. But I'm just testing out this process. Eventually, we'll be able to do this straight from the website and have a little portal. But for now, the YouTube image will work. All right, so I'm doing G. Back up a little bit. Now that it is, let's say 4:53, I'm testing out how long this would take as well, so I can adequately charge. So this is as much as good for me as it is for you. So what I have right now is a submission from a customer. They have submitted the photos and the words that they want on there, and I am going to implement it into a template for them. Let's go ahead and download this full resolution image. And drop into my photo into my photo layer. And then this one we are going to be changing the colors of, so you get to see me do a color change on that one. And I'm just going to place this image right where I don't have to reposition the wings. I don't have to reposition the halo. I still get to see my stairs there. And then of course for the photo, you know I don't do the hard line, so let's go ahead and fade that off at the bottom there. And let's see what other requests we have here. So the color is going to be green. And I have the name I can copy and paste. I told y'all I always do a copy and paste session for these names, especially when it's something that's so important like this. Just double click on that T. That way I can just copy and paste the name there. And I'm going to guess that the last name is Duncan, but this is why we're going to proof it too. Double click on the T for Hall. Paste there, so I have my last name in there. And I'm just saving as right now just so I don't make sure I don't save over the template version. And let's do need to put some dates on here because this one does request the sunrise and sunset date. Now just copy it from here, and this one is going to say alpha and omega. I'll make this a little bit smaller. And let's place it on top, do a little bit of an outer glow so it'll stand out from the background. I'll probably do a white outer glow. There we go. Alright, so we are almost done. The only thing we have to do now is change the color to green, and let's go ahead and duplicate this layer, and we'll do a new green layer. As a matter of fact, we can just do a fill color instead of a gradient. Layer, new fill layer, let's do solid color. And we'll choose a green, which is, it may look a little weird having green roses, but we'll see how it looks. So this blend mode was on color, so we're going to change the green blend mode to color. And right now we would have to change the levels if we want it to be a little more saturated in color. Or we can just turn those levels off. And let me see if we have any feedback on the color green. Hey Jennifer, you're up next, love. So I'll just go with this color green for now. And I added because we have green is one of those kind of very middle gray type of colors as far as the, like if you grayscale it, it'd be around 50%. So I have to crank up that black a little bit in order to get those shadows to pop out. And let me see if I can get a feedback. And I'll probably leave this one as is because I don't know if this is supposed to be like a sage green. Sage green, and I'm typing the customer now, hunter green, or like a grass green. And also I get a common color people want me to do a seafoam green. So we'll save that, and we'll start working on our next proof until hopefully we can get a little feedback on that. And I think Miss Jennifer. Oh, perfect. You got the photos already cut out as PNGs. That's perfect. Oh, you're on it. Awesome. So this one we're going to do the watercolor or the solo. Are we doing the stole design? Can you remind me which template we're using for this one? I do have the email here with all of the source images. We're doing a stole design, I believe. And Jennifer, I'm actually talking about you right now, just so you know. We're doing a stole design. Was it the watercolor one or the solo one? Because there were two different templates. Watercolor, perfect. So let's go ahead and get that one going. Watercolor. If I can spell watercolor. Here we go. All right, and for this one, we're laying it out as a stole design. So I'm going to double click on my mock-up, the art layer. Let's get to the basic art here. And the wonderful thing about this is the school colors are pretty much the same, aren't they? Yeah, that's pretty convenient. All right, so all we're doing here, Jennifer, is we're going to change out the logo here for you. So let's go to the logo. And turn off that previous one. And we'll drop in our new logo. And it says it's PNG, but it's not, but no worries, we will make it PNG. So I'll go ahead, double click here. And because it's saying that it's a PNG file, if I make it invisible on the outside, let's do a tolerance of 15, because this is a kind of pixelated image here. So what it's doing is grabbing, I'm going to choose contiguous because I don't want it to grab all the white. I just want to grab the outside white. All right, and let's do select inverse. Control Shift I, and I'll leave that on for y'all. For the clients that are doing proofing, I probably wouldn't show them everything I'm typing. But since I have y'all here, we'll put the instructions on. All right, so I have my inside meat selected now, hopefully. Yep. And then we'll go ahead and do select and mask. Just want to make sure it's going to give me a clean mask, as clean as I can possibly get, given that it is a little bit pixelated here, as you can see. So we're going to smooth it as much as we can without losing our angles there, and then I may feather it just a little bit. And then instead of destroying any pixels, we'll go ahead, turn that into a layer mask, so it's clipped that now. So if I say yes, I want to save this, it should update, and now my layer has some transparency behind it. All right, so that's that. Let's do name is Little Jimmy. I'm going to copy and paste straight from my source. And the class of 2020, of course. The name of the school is, we'll copy and paste that. And we definitely, it says mainly red. So if we want the mainly red design, we'll pull in our photos. So we'll see how things look composed, but we may end up changing some of the blue so that it's more red. And then we can just take last name, turn it off. Or let's turn it back on. Just to keep up with the space there. I'll do that. All right, so turn our guides back on. And these stoles are probably some of the things that'd be a little bit hard to design really quickly because it's more like a collage. But the more you play with these, the more you'll get an idea how, how fast you can design these. All right, so the name of the school, I have that copied. Let's go ahead and edit that. Zoom in. And we can hide the word high school. And we want to make sure that this fits within the narrowest part. So we're going to be inside of the blue. And let's go ahead and change out our photos now. So I'll right click and go to my previous photo. We'll go ahead and turn that layer, that whole group off. And let's bring in our new photos. 1, 2, and 3 photos. There's 1, I just dragged it in and dropped it. Here's 2, drag and drop. Oh, that is too cute. And 3. All right, so let's give the visual interest to one of these photos, and you can let me know which one you want where. So I'm guessing that's more recent. This might be like, is it like elementary to high school? Let's see, there's 1. Now which one would you want on, let's do this one on the right side. And then you tell me how you feel about it. This one's too cute. I'm gonna put it up front for right now. I love that one. Okay, so we have 1, 2, and 3, or do you want them all the photos on one side and just the like school insignia on the other side? I'm checking for you. And Jennifer, feel free to chime in. Use the senior and the baby, so don't use the blue one. So let's give him his little credit up front, and then we'll put baby behind him. And before I do anything else, I'm going to go ahead and make sure I fade off my images. So let's add a layer mask. I'm going to go ahead and fade off my edges here. And then I'll do the same thing for the senior photo. I'm on the layer mask here. Here we go. Now I can make the image a little bit more substantial, a little bit bigger, because what I'm most concerned about is making sure I'm not cutting off any features of the face. If the shoulders go off the edge a little bit, that's perfectly fine, but I don't want to lose any important features. Any of my text or my part of my photo I don't want to lose. I'm going to keep it inside of the blue. And this image here in the red goes perfectly over that blue. That works, gives a little contrast. Okay. And we're doing this one as a 13 by 19 design, right? Jennifer, do you want to print this on one single 13 by 19, or did you want to tile this and make it super long? And while I'm waiting on that, oh, 13 by 19, perfect. Okay, so let me show you how to instantly make that 13 by 19. Let's duplicate this group. So we have a copy of it. I'm going to merge it so that it is no longer editable. It's just basically a PNG now. I can Control T to transform it. And I'm going to make sure that it fits inside of this 13 by 19. And if it hangs off the side a little bit, that's actually what you want. You want a little color to bleed off the edges so that it looks fully colored. What you're mainly worried about is that you have very clean artwork towards your top and bottom. And we have a little white space top and bottom. I'm happy with that. And I'll go ahead and turn off my guides. Save the artwork. And let me make sure I do a save as here. I didn't do a save as. So this will be my customer. Then that way when I update this artwork, we can watch the magic happen. All right, so that's the 13 by 19 design, Jennifer. What do you feel about that? Do we need to change anything? Do you want to relocate any of the images or the text or anything here? Change the words to white. Gotcha. Now we can zoom in a little bit too. We'll just go to our effects and change the color overlay. Right now it's white with the metallic look, but we can also just make it straight up white, make it pop a little bit more. And if we want to copy that layer style, we can come over here to class of, paste that layer style. Oh, I need to get to the words, paste that layer style. And go to 2020 and paste that layer style. And we can do the same thing to the school name. That way it kind of stands off of all that color in the background. If we want to change the watercolor, okay, so let's see, for the watercolor, we're going to change the blue to red, right? Let's see if we can do so with a simple hue saturation adjustment. And it's going to be clipped just to that watercolor layer. Let's go to the blues and we'll probably need to change blues and cyans. We turn the saturation all the way down so I can see, yeah, it's blue and cyan in there. And there's actually another little color in there, but what I'm going to do is go ahead and redo the watercolor background, then we'll reshrink it. because this watercolor is editable. So let's edit everywhere we see blue, we'll make it red. Now zoom out a little bit. So red was our color 3. So everywhere we see color 3, we have to double click on the effects and go to the color overlay. Then we can choose, instead of the blue, we'll choose the red. And then I can just copy this hex code so I don't have to keep picking the color red. So everywhere I see color 3, color 2, there's color 3 right there. Color overlay, let's make it red instead. Same thing with this color 3. Color overlay, let's make it red instead. And then there's a little bit of blue, this darker blue here, the spots. So we can keep the spots blue, or we can make the spots red. But everything right now is red except for the spots. And you can also take the spots. Let's say you wanted a little splash of blue in the design, but not too much. You can add more blue spots. So Jennifer, you saying keep the blue spots or keep the red? Gotcha, you like the more splash? Cool. So what we'll do here is we'll go ahead and make sure that this fits within the 13 by 19. Make sure it still gives you that same look that you want. And I have to turn back on my guides so I can see where that 13 by 19 space is. Perfect. Go back to our watercolor. And I'm holding down shift so that I can disproportionately change the size of the graphic. I want to go inside of my 13 by 19, but I want to keep all of the motion that we created with the watercolor. And as far as the spots go, I'm going to go ahead and hit enter to get that, lock that into that 13 by 19. I just took my spots and transformed them just so that they don't look identical, but they are there. We'll zoom in a little bit just to let you see the graphic up close. All right, Jennifer. And how do you feel about the layout now? We did the color change. We changed the watercolor to primarily red, and the text we changed to white. And I'll go ahead and remove these guides for you so you can see a little bit better. Zoom in. Awesome, awesome. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and show y'all. Normally I wouldn't show the customer this part, but I will show you all this part. If you wanted to save this and have it ready to print, I see a little hard line right here. Your girl messing up, and that's why I like to remove those guides too. You right click on that photo and clean that up. On that left hand side, I'm grabbing my brush, I'm on my layer mask, and I'm just going to fade that off just a little bit more so I don't see that hard line from the edge of the photo. And of course this part is probably going to go off of the edge of your stole anyway, but just in case, I don't want you to have any unnecessary hard lines. But everything looks good, it's ready to go, so I'm going to go File, I'm going to save as, I'm going to save it as a JPEG. And this one will go into the client files. All right, so now that I have it saved, it's a big old artboard saved. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and open it. Do sort by date modified. Here we go. So now it's this big old artboard with this image inside of it. And what I want to do is clip it down to a 13 by 19. So all Jennifer has to do is print and go. So let's go to our cropping tool. The ratio we're going to set as a 13 by 19. And then I am going to manually pull down these edges. You see how it's maintaining the size of the ratios of the 13 by 19 as I'm changing the size. And all I want to make sure is that I clear top and bottom. Remember, I don't mind if the design runs off the sides because we have bleed area over there anyhow. But what we don't have is bleed area to the top and bottom. So I want to make absolutely sure that I'm not going to lose anything when I crop into my top and bottom. I have white space at the top. I have white space at the bottom. I can now hit enter. It'll lock in that, and I did not delete any crop pixels. So if I needed to make a slight adjustment, like if I need to move it left or right, it won't have a cutoff area there. But this is ready to print for Jennifer. So I'm going to go ahead and now I'm going to save it again. As a matter of fact, in order to save it as a JPEG, now that we've edited it, I have to right click, I have to flatten the image. Now it cuts off any pixels that were outside of the area. And then I'm going to go to my image size. I'm going to make sure that I go to inches and that it is within my 13 by 19, that it's 150 dpi. It's about 16 megs of a file, so it's a pretty decent sized file. Nowhere, actually it probably won't even be that big when we save it as a JPEG. All right, so we are good to go. Save that, and now that we have a live proof, and always make sure that you have some type of written proof of your proof too, because you know, sometimes if something is wrong, somebody can come back and say, hey, well, you know, this is spelled wrong. But if it was proof, you can say, hey, Jennifer, can you go ahead and message me message right now that you approve this design? And Jennifer will type in, I approve this design. And that means that any spelling, any placement, anything like that at that point in time is the responsibility of the client. And you want to make sure you cover, what do they call it, CYA? Cover your assets. All right, so I'm going ahead updating this. And then that way you have the stole too. I don't know if you just want to show your customer this mock-up. I think you have the mock-up. Do you have the mock-up file, Jennifer? Because if so, then you can change these out and show her the mock-up. But what I would do, I'm going to send this to you because I know that this is for a client. Okay, cool. So if you do, that's all you're going to do. You're going to take that PNG that I just sent you, and then you could, on your artboard, basically you would replace the image and it would update in here. And then you could turn off what you want to turn off. Like you can turn off the hat, you can turn off the back. Basically all you need to do is send them this front mocked up, because they're not going to understand what that means. If you send them the mock up of that, they're going to be like, huh, you know, what's that? Is that the left or the right side? So as soon as you send it to them and update it on the mock up, they'll get it. So, and I'll show you how you would do that, because I told you I'm helping you out today because you're helping me troubleshoot my website. So I would, let's say if you're not going to put anything on the back of the stole, or maybe you are, You can hide the back of the stole, you can hide the cap, top, and then you can hide the, and I need to group this, the grad cap. So turn the grad cap off, and then you can put your business name there and show them that. So I'll go ahead and export that to you as well. That way you can put any information you want to put on the other side. I'll just send it to you as a JPEG, so it won't be a whole nother Photoshop file. File, save as. All right, Jennifer, so you got your little mock-up too. Oh, so the image for the cap and the fan is a smart object. So basically, once you change your main image, those images automatically change. Did you see that kind of happen without me even doing anything? Now, it automatically changed based on the layout of the artwork that we did. So if you don't like the layout, what you could do, let's say you don't like the layout for the cap topper, then you can go to that art group, and if you right click and go to a new smart object via copy, that means it's no longer the same smart object as the other one. And then you can go in, modify your art based on how you want it to look for that particular type of setup. So let's say for that one you want the main photo to be bigger and in the center, and then maybe the baby photo in the background. Let's just say that is our kind of quick fix for that. If I say yes, I'm going to save that. I want you to see that now it's a separate smart object from our previous one, and I kind of have a duplicate with a little twist to it, and I'll show you. So now see how this is different than the stole design? It's because we created another instance of the stole design artwork, but our smart object is still there with our original design. And if you go to the video tutorial that I did for this graduation stole, the one that I did just on the artwork and how to print, you will see that step kind of probably done a little bit slower, where we do the right click and do new smart object via copy. If you just duplicate it, if you edit the smart object, it will still propagate to all the other ones. But if you set it as a new smart object via copy, it makes its own new smart object version. Okay. Thank you, Jennifer. So let me go ahead and send that over to you. Angie's messaging me about the greens. What kind of green? So if I can get a little reference on that. Oh, maybe already. Grass green. Okay. So I got the feedback grass green on that. Grass green. Got it. All right, so this is a way that we'll be able to help you all out, as well as even your customers. So if you wanted to make it look like that you have an art team, you can say, hey, I can connect you with our artist at this time, and we'll go ahead and have it to where you can set up time. So I know we're working on the website and all that, but oh, as a matter of fact, I'll send you the Photoshop version of this because I saved it with your name at the end, so you'll have this one. And you've already purchased this template anyway, so I don't mind sending you the Photoshop version of it. Okay, so I'll go ahead while I'm talking. Let me just make sure I'm saving because I love to talk, and you know, Photoshop can be a little aggressive and shutting down sometimes. So I'm saving that, and it'll probably take about 2 minutes to update to my Google Drive. then I can send that file to the customer. I normally will not send graphic files to customers unless they're y'all, of course. You all are purchasing graphic files, but usually the customer is just going to approve it, and I would end up sending it back to you, so that'll be all a part of the order. So yeah, let me know how this process goes, how I might be able to make it a little bit better. So for instance, if this was one of your clients and you didn't want to, design right now, how would you want this process to look? How would you want me to communicate with your client? That sort of thing. So I know we're doing this right now live on Facebook, but there's also an opportunity to do it as a private session, so that your customers don't know that it's like me designing it. So it'll be on a different platform. But I wanted to get your opinion on this, because I'm really excited about being able to offer this service, and I'm offering it to you all. Now, when I do y'all stuff, I'm going to do y'all stuff live, because it helps y'all learn. But when I do the customer stuff, they will be able to see it live, but I probably won't put it on the channel, because a lot of times, if you want me to remain anonymous and you don't want your customer to know I'm designing for you, I want to respect that. Okay. Okay. Okay, so I have to change out the green for G. He says it's grass green, so what it is right now is going to work. And Jennifer, let me go ahead and send you what I have. And while y'all have me live, is there any questions y'all have? Because I probably won't be live too much longer. I have to catch up on some stuff. And let me thank y'all too. I have to thank you all for working with me. I'm really trying to develop this website. I'm trying to develop some new technologies that help us all as designers and entrepreneurs, and kind of sharing our talents. So one of the talents that I'm trying to help share is, of course, the art, but also how we communicate with the customers, what kind of experience we give them, what type of designs we put out there. So I am frequently listening to you all, and always trying to improve the process. So in the meantime, I know y'all been seeing the website. I know y'all been frustrated with it, but I appreciate y'all working with me. It does mean a lot to me to have y'all helping me troubleshoot as we push through some of these growing pains. So Jennifer, I'm going to be sending you these because the link wasn't working. I'm going to be sending them to you, responding to your email and sending you those links. Client files. There you go. So yes, you'll be able to edit that fully. Right, meantime, let me go ahead, and it's still uploading. So as soon as I finish editing this green, I'll be able to send that file to you. So feel free to hang around, Jennifer, and learn a little bit more. I'm gonna finish this edit, and then that'll be all of my client edits today. Oh, you're very welcome, Jennifer. I appreciate you. All right, so let's get on this, because this was one that some people had some issues with. So I want to show you how we're going to go about changing these colors. First thing I'm going to do is bring a duplicate of this color to the next area that I know I'm coloring. So whenever I see my blue, I know I'm going to bring the green. And you could do that. Honestly, that really works. But it just depends on if you want the sky to be green as well. And he just wanted the roses green as far as the instructions I got. So if that's the case, then I can't leave that on like that. I'm going to go ahead and clip. And the way that I'm clipping this is I'm just dragging it up under the existing clipping path, or yeah, that clipping mask. And this one, I think what I'm going to do is, in order to let because I have some roses in the background, but I think they're just up here in the top and bottom corner. So I'm going to drag my green to the background roses, turn it on, create that clipping mask, and then that way that green only touches the roses, so I still get my blue sky. And then for the text here, I'll double click there. And I'll choose darker green and a medium green there. And then for the Duncan, if it's getting a little lost because there's a lot of image behind it, there's one or two things I can do. I can fade the photo off. And if I right click on the photo, it'll show me where it is. So I can fade my photo off a little bit more so that I'll really focus more on the image in the background. I get a little more of that white coming through, and I think that's what I'm going to do. And you keep it simple for your customers. Don't try to overcomplicate it, because the more you ask them this or this, this or this, if you can imagine, it's kind of like, you know, when you go to the eye doctor and they're asking you one or two, you know, A or B, 3 or 4, 5 or 6, and then like eventually you think all of it looks the same. So just keep it simple, and if they stop you, you know, let them ask something. But for the most part, just do what you feel is most designer friendly. And you have the eye, you're creative, so trust your own eye, trust your own judgment here. And then, oh, for these roses, the top and bottom ones, I know I don't have to. I was going to change the levels a little bit. Just so I get a little bit more of that deeper green. And if I want to change this exactly by the same thing, I can alt click and drag those roses, or drag the levels. And then that exact same amount of level adjustment I did for this one also occurs for this one. And I think that's it. So he wants it as a PNG, which means I'm going to turn off the background. And Alpha and Omega is kind of standing out a little too much for me. Now, of course, this is what I do. I nitpick. Even though the customer would have said, oh, yeah, it's perfect. I love it. All right, so now I can file. I can save it as a PNG. And we're good to go. That's done. All right, loves, y'all make sure that you give me some feedback on this sort of setup, what you like to see. Even if you have a suggestion, like maybe not doing it on Facebook and doing it on some other platform that maybe you've had some experience with. I think that at least the YouTube allows me to pretty much reach anyone on, you know, any method. Even if they had to look at this on the phone right now, they can just go to YouTube, go on the phone. And let me see, I can just drag this proof right to them. And this is how I do quick proofs. Quick proofs, I will go ahead and take off my guides or don't show my guides. I'll grab this little snippet right here, a little quick screenshot, and then that way I can copy and paste it to them via text message. And I text message off the computer with my Google Hangouts. And I'm just asking, is this okay to print? And I'll wait for his response on that. Meanwhile, we have that saved. And that's all, folks. Appreciate y'all hanging out with me. And if y'all need anything else, let me know. I'm frequently trying to check in on the NA Creatives Facebook group, the private group, because of course that's where we kind of let you all know when we're going live, what we're doing, and if you have any issues, if we need to troubleshoot, we do so in that group. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna go offline, and then I'm gonna come back later to show you. We had an issue today that I did troubleshooting. We just had problems with the internet, so it wasn't something I wanted to show live. But we did the color settings for the Photoshop and also for your printer to make sure that you're getting best color depending on what ink you're using. If you don't have an ICC profile, if you don't need an ICC profile like the ink that I have and that I offer, the proper way to set up the print settings. And it made a world of difference to one of my fellow creatives today. She was so tickled that her reds were finally coming out reds, and her colors were vibrant, all that good stuff. So I'll be posting the solution for that, and maybe even hoping to find some of you that are having those problems, so maybe we can troubleshoot through those problems. If you're using my ink, I don't know about anybody else's, because they be telling y'all they don't require color profiles or ICC profiles, but I've had experience with ones that say they don't require ICC profiles, and it does require tweaking. So hopefully we can get through some of those issues together so we end up with color consistency. I appreciate y'all hanging out with me. If I have anything else, this is just one of those random pop-up lives, so hopefully you have your notifications on and set to all instead of personalized, so that we can get to the point where when I go live, you'll just hear the ding and just join me, okay? All right, guys, love y'all for real, and bye for now. I'll talk to y'all soon, okay?